Hi. So, since you're here, I'm assuming you want to learn about SketchUp. Well, you come to the right place. Let's click Start using SketchUp. I'm using SketchUp 8 to make my tutorial. Um, so when you start it, there will be this girl here. You don't want to use the girl, so let's left click on her. Press delete. We don't need girls here. Um, so let me teach you the basic interface. This is your select button. This is for drawing stuff. You know what? Yeah, I'll just get to those eventually. I'll teach you the basic moving ways you can move in here and view your object. So let's start with orbit. Orbit is to move around your object. So let's say you have a square here. I'll teach you how to do this later. I'm just using it as an example. Let's say you have a square here. We want to orbit around this shit. If you have a middle mouse button, you will click on that and drag. And wow, look at that. It's like we're in a fucking helicopter moving around this shit. That's awesome. It's orbit. That's orbit. And there's other ways to do this. You could press the button O. It's good to know all these hotkeys. Or you could go up here and just click the goddamn button and then just drag around with your left mouse button. Another way to move around, let's say you want to go side to side. You don't want to go around. You just want to go left and right and view it at different angles. Okay. So if you're in the orbit already, you can just hold down the shift button and oh my god, just drag it around with your left mouse button and you're panning. It's called panning. You could also just go up there and click the button, or you could just press the letter H. I don't know why it's H, but it's H. I'm sure you could change that somewhere to P or something, but P is used for something else. So, alright, and if you want to exit any of those commands, just press escape, and my god, it brings you back to the select button. Holy shit. Alright, so let's delete this. I'm going to teach you how to draw some shit. Okay, there's different ways to do this. There's different ways to approach it. How do I approach drawing a rectangle? Well, let's see. I could think of multiple ways. You have the line button. You have the line button here. You can just draw, and if it highlights red, that means it's on the red axis. It is stuck on the red axis. That's wonderful. That's good for being clean with your drawings. If you go over here, oh my god, it's stuck on the green axis. And if you go right here, oh my god, blue axis. That's awesome. So that's great for drawing really, symmetrical shit. Okay, so you have a line. Wow, let's draw another line. It just goes right off of where you clicked. Sweet. So let's draw another. Let's draw another. Oh man, this square doesn't look proportional to me. Does it look proportional to you? I hope not, or else you have a serious problem. So let's start off by making it proportional. Okay, so if you look at the bottom right of your screen, you'll see 4 feet, 3/4. So that's 4 foot, 4 inches, and 3/4. Or 4 foot, 4 3/4 inches, if that sounds good to you. We're going to do is make it a better size than that. We're going to go, let's say 2 feet. So type in 2 and then apostrophe for the feet. And then we're going to go this way. We're going to do another 2 feet. And then we're going to go again another 2 feet. And just keep on doing that shit. And then just close it. You don't even need to type in. For the last one, you see what I did there? I just clicked on that. And I clicked on the endpoint, and wow, that looks symmetrical. That looks fantastic. Now, that was one way of approaching it by using the line right here. Line is also L if you don't want to click the button. Yeah, and you can just go off of any endpoint and just do that stuff to your heart's content. Wow, that's awesome. Thanks, Eric, for teaching me. You're welcome, Eric. So that's one way. Let's delete that shit because I'm going to teach you the other way. This would have probably saved you a lot of time. So let's say you want to make the same thing, 2 foot by 2 foot. So we're going to type in on the bottom right. This is a rectangle command. Okay. You could also press R for rectangle. We're just gonna type in 2 foot, comma 2 foot. And when I say foot, that's an apostrophe, okay? Or I think that's an apostrophe. Oh my god, I really hope it is. Okay, sweet. So we just did the same thing. We did the same thing, just 2 different approaches, alright? Wow, that's pretty incredible, Eric. You're right, it is. Look how similar they look. Awesome. Now let's say we want to make these 2D things, these boring 2D things, 3D. Okay, so what are we going to do about that? Well, there's multiple different ways you can do that, but we're just going to do extrude. Extruding, okay, is basically just making a 2D object 3D. What we're going to do is press P for the push-pull button, click on the face you want to extrude, or push or pull, and we're going to go up, and you can see on the bottom right, it says the distance. That's the distance from your original position. So that's relative to where we started, which is right here. And then we're going to go up. Wow, that number's getting bigger. Holy shit. Okay, so how far do we want to extrude? Let's make it shit. Let's make it 2 feet. Wow, look, it's a cube. It's a perfect cube. You just type in your number, press enter, and you're good. That's really remarkable. We just made a cube. Now you can just, for pushing and pulling, or extruding for that matter, you could just click on any face and just drag it out. You could click on it once and drag it, or you could just hold it down and drag it. Look at that. There's so many different ways to do this shit. But we're just gonna Control Z back to our cube, which was nope, it was redo. That's our cube. Okay. Now what are we gonna do with this cube? Well, there's multiple things we can do with this cube. We can make it into something. Let's make a chair. Yeah, let's make a chair. We're gonna make the seat of the chair, the part that you sit down on, the most important part of the chair. So let's press P, because we're gonna need to make this. Nobody sits on a chair with the seat part that fat. That's huge. No, you don't want to sit on that. So we're gonna make it thinner. We're gonna click on the top face, and you can see the distance down there. It's negative because we're going below where we started. And I'm just gonna go down. Let's say, since that was 3 feet. No, that was 2 feet. We're gonna go down -1, and then 1 foot 9 inches, and that didn't work. Shit. So what I'm gonna do, I think because I'm rusty on this, I'm just gonna click on the bottom face and just go up, except I'm not gonna make it negative. I'm gonna do 1 foot 9 inches, like that. And wow, look at that. It's like a seat that you can sit on, except so you want to know how long this is, except without doing the math. You click on this, just measure up. That's 3 inches. That's a 3-inch seat. That's pretty thick. So I'm gonna make that go up a little bit more, except I'm gonna make it go up 1 inch. That's better. That's much better. Now there's something you can do that's really helpful with this. If you click on the faces, they're all separate. You can click on that, press delete. It looks like shit. It'll delete the face, and I mean that might be good for doing like interiors of houses and stuff. But no, we don't want to do that. We want to make this one physical piece so we don't fuck it up in any way. So we're gonna highlight it by going bottom up. If you do bottom up, it will select everything that it touches. So see how it touches this line here and this line here? It'll highlight that whole thing. If we went bottom down and only highlighted the same amount of this line and this line, it won't do it. You'd have to select the whole line. So we're gonna do bottom up to select all of it. Wow, that's really helpful. Thanks, Eric. You're welcome. So we're gonna select it, and we're going to go to edit down here, and we're going to make this thing into a group. We're essentially making this thing like a Lego piece. We can move this around and just reuse it over and over without worrying about breaking it. So we're going to make the back of the chair, the part that you lean back on. Those are essential in chairs. So we can copy this by doing Control C, or you go to edit if you're old school, or if you're lame, you can just go up here and press copy. No, we're going to do Control C and Control V to paste it, or you can just go up to paste. Wow, look at that. We have 2 seats. But we don't need 2 seats. We need a back. We need to rotate that shit and make it something you can lean back on. So we're going to go out to the rotate tool. Or you go to tools up here and click on rotate, or you could just use Q. And we're going to snap it to the red axis because we want to rotate it this way on the green axis. So you'll drag the line out, the reference line out to the green axis, click on it, and just rotate it. Look at that. If you look at the bottom right, you can see how it says angle is at 90. Now we just dragged it to 90. It'll snap to certain angles. But if you want it to do a specific angle, like 76.8, it'll do that if you type it out and press enter. But we want it to do 90, so we'll just type 90, press enter. Look at that. That looks like something you can lean back on. Now we need to move it over to that chair. How do we move? I probably should have taught you this earlier. You could go up here and click move and snap to an endpoint, or you could just click M like a cool guy. Click M, drag it, and snap it to that endpoint right there. And that's how you do it. Look at that. That looks like something you can lean on. That's great. Okay. And as you can see, they're both 2 different entities. If I click on them, say I want to edit something on here, I can just double click it, and I can edit the faces on here individually. But since it's a group, I'll have to double click on it. See, if I click on it now and press delete, it'll delete the whole thing instead of that face, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. Okay. Well, it's looking good, but if somebody sat on this, your legs would bend up and it just wouldn't be comfortable. You need some legs to this chair. How do we make the legs look good? Well, we're gonna want to make it the same length as this, the same width as this sucker right here. So we're gonna go to the tape measure tool right there, and we're gonna measure it from that point to that point, and it'll tell us right there. It'll tell us on the bottom right, and it will tell us in that pop-up box. That's 2 inches. So we're gonna have to make a 2-inch rectangle down here. You could also make them cylindrical, but we're just gonna do rectangular right now, okay? And you could draw it on here. You could very well draw it on there, but that could cause some complications because your rectangle isn't a group yet. So it might be hard highlighting just your rectangle. You're gonna want to make that piece somewhere else. So we're gonna make it right here. And we're gonna go 2 inches by 2 inches with the rectangle tool. Look at that, we got a rectangle. We're gonna highlight that, go to edit, and make it a group so we can drag it onto the chair, okay? So that's a group now. All of everything, like if I do extrude, it won't let me because I'll need to go into the I have to double click it and do that. So we're just gonna do the move tool, drag it over to the corner right here. It'll snap right on. You can see it right there. We're gonna want to extrude that. So how much are we gonna want to extrude that? Let's see. That looks good at 12 inches. 12 inches. That's 12 feet. Sorry, 12 inches. That's a 12-inch leg. Looks gorgeous. Okay. Since it's a group, we don't have to redraw that goddamn leg every single time we want to make a leg. We'll just click on it, Control C, Control V that shit. Awesome. We just copy and pasted it. Grab the endpoint, bring it over. Bring it over. Right there. It just snaps right on. It's like Legos. Wow, this is great. It's like Legos, a video game. I don't think they ever made those before. Um, so we'll just do that over and over. Oh my god, that chair looks fucking awesome. But let's say you want to make multiple chairs and you don't want to have to redo that over and over. Select the whole goddamn thing and then do make group. And wow, I could just drag the whole thing. Look at that. Say you still want to edit some part in here. Let's double click that. Double click on that. Oh my god. Look, I can make the chair look like shit again if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that. And what's a chair without a table? Well, we'll make a table in the next tutorial, and we'll do some cylinder legs, and we'll change it up. We'll make the table circular too. We'll do some circular stuff, and that's so much to look forward to in the next tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. This is Eric, or the Mighty Pyrus, and goodbye.